Hello, my name is Jeff Wells and I work with Austral Real Estate. Austral Real Estate is a marketing company that specializes in the acquisition and the sale of some of the finest ranch, recreation, and resort properties in Argentina and Chile. Our emphasis, however, is the Patagonia region of both countries, in particular in the Lake and River District where most investors have focused over the last few years. Great interest has been generated recently in these regions because of the breathtaking beauty and the spaciousness of these areas and their immense opportunity for recreational enjoyment and development at very reasonable prices. Austral Real Estate is unique in that the principals have extensive long-term experience in the acquisition and sale of true trophy properties, not only in the U.S. but also Latin America. Not only do we understand the local markets in Patagonia, but we also understand the needs and the mindsets of our U.S. buyers. Patagonia is the free world's last frontier of properties that offer beauty, majesty, and primitive settings that have all but disappeared in the world due to growth and development. The charm of owning property in Patagonia is that you can acquire and enjoy a bit of the past, bringing you back to your roots and allowing you to unwind in a world that has us more tense and insecure. I love South America. I've been here on and off for some 25 years. The reason I'm here is that I spent a lot of time in the United States looking for my own ranch and found some beautiful places, but what I wanted I couldn't get because my pocketbook wasn't big enough. So when I came down to South America, I found that my dollar would go a lot further and I could buy things that, well, like this. This is a ranch of 57,000 acres. You have snow-capped peaks. You've got glaciers that you see year-round that flow down into streams that have water that runs gin clear. This particular ranch has incredible fishing. It's got salmon and rainbows and browns, even brook trout up the river here. It's an incredible place. You just can't find, you can't afford places like this in the United States. It isn't for everybody. There's some issues here that people need to consider as they look at their risk profile, but I know from my own standpoint I'm really comfortable here. These kinds of ranches, this particular ranch of 57,000 acres is probably around a $12–13 million ranch. However, other ranches that are 2,000 to 5,000 acres might run $2 to $3 million. Ranches that are equivalent in the United States might be anywhere between $15 and $20 million. So you could get a similar ranch here for about 1/4 of the cost of what you'd have to pay in the United States. Most of the ranches here have self-sustaining operations. The cattle and the sheep operations maintain the infrastructure of the ranch. Another reason why I like these kinds of ranches is that they're secluded. They're in beautiful places of the world. I think this particular ranch was homesteaded back in 1938. That's the first time that people occupied the land. Since then, and at this particular point in time, because of the issues that are going on, the age of the landowners, these properties are just now beginning to turn over, and it provides good buying opportunities for those that are interested in owning real estate like this. The area that I like in Argentina and Chile is the area called Patagonia. It's in the southern tip. It's most like our Montana, Idaho, Colorado area, where we have some of the better trophy ranches in the United States as well. It's an area that's unique because it's nestled up next to the Andes. The climate effect causes more rainfall. So being up against the mountains with the rainfall and the different kinds of effects, you have ranches that will have excellent soil conditions so that you have good plant life, and obviously as a result of that you have good either cattle or sheep ranching. Now people, when they come down and buy these kinds of ranches, they're buying into a lifestyle that in some cases will be just like a working cattle ranch of 100 years ago. You know, the cowboys will brand, they'll sit around fires at night, they'll build their own cabins, they'll cut their own leather and make their own lassos, and it's just is an incredible situation to still be able to experience things that I think that we've lost in the United States. This kind of a ranch you can ride for hours and never get off your horse to open a gate. If you don't like horses, you can get on four-wheelers and do the same thing. What I really like is that I know when I was looking for my own ranch in the United States, I had a hard time finding a ranch that had everything that I was looking for. These ranches, as I mentioned earlier, have it all. They have incredible views, and you know, the workers that you can get, generally it's pretty easy to find workers that speak English, that are well educated, that want to work. The food is incredible. Most of the heritage here in Latin America is from Europe, so finding Italian food and good Spanish food isn't hard at all. It's good to be able to sit down and have a steak that you've gotten from your ranch that's been forage fed. Has never been grained. So, just like ranches, though, in the United States, where you can ride horses and enjoy a lot of the outdoor activities, generally these larger ranches allow you to do a lot more with much less intrusion. The area that I like a lot in Chilean Argentina is what we call the Lake and the River District. It's an area that runs just north of San Martin and Bariloche, about 100 miles south, another 300 miles to the Corcovado Rio Pico area, which is where we're at right now. You know, part of the nostalgia of being here is actually getting here. You're an overnight flight down to South America. Generally, that's an easy flight for me. I just sleep. When I wake up, I'm in Argentina or Chile. Most places in Argentina are about an hour and a half to 2 hour flight out of Buenos Aires. In this particular area, you'd either land in Bariloche or you'd land in Escal. If you were to fly into Chile, you'd land in Santiago and then take another flight to Puerto Montt. From those three cities, Bariloche, Escal, and Puerto Montt, you have at your access ranches like this. On the Chilean side, the ranches are smaller in size, but they have different terrain than what you're seeing here, a bit more rainforest, but you're also just a few miles away from the Pacific Ocean. In fact, this particular ranch, although it's in Argentina, and although you're nestled up against the Andes here, as the crow flies, you're only 80 miles away from the Pacific Ocean. So you can enjoy the Argentine culture, cross over into the Chilean border, which is just 12 miles away, drive about another hour and a half, and you're in beautiful fjords that look like you're in Vancouver, Seattle, or even Norway. This latitude here is the same latitude as Portland, Oregon, or Yellowstone National Park, or Boston. A lot of people think when you talk about Patagonia that you're in the South Pole, and that's not necessarily the case. You know, we're at 1,300 feet above sea level here, and we rarely get snow that accumulates more than an inch or so in the wintertime, and of course the summers are just incredible. You know, if you haven't done business overseas, perhaps investing in a foreign country would be a little disconcerting, or you might feel it goes beyond your risk quotient. But I've been coming down to South America for 25 some odd years and find it to be an incredible place with an incredible culture. Politically and economically, everybody needs to weigh their own circumstances, but most of the hoopla that you hear about in regards to South America isn't necessarily true. And what's neat about this place is it's not like Central America or Mexico. It's more like Montana. And when you're here, you do feel like you're at the end of the earth, but you feel safe and protected. And what you have here is incredible nature that you can take advantage of, that you just won't find perhaps almost anywhere else in the world, simply because places that are now far-reaching and remote are so far-reaching and remote that they're hard to get to, or they have inclement weather. This is one of the few places on the face of the planet that has a weather and climate that's comfortable and that most everybody would enjoy. It's fun when you're in Buenos Aires and you're walking down through the open markets. You'll just run across couples that are dancing the tango, and you have these people that are standing around watching them. And Argentines love their tango. It speaks of their culture. It talks about the times that they had in the 30s and 40s, and it kind of lives on here. And of course, lately the tango has really taken off in the world. There have been movies made of it. But it talks a lot about their culture. I know personally I've gone to some tango classes, and although I've got 3 feet, it's been fun. They enjoyed teaching it. There are a lot of salsa places to dance as well. So things like this really draw you into the culture, and it's easy to find things like that. As you're driving around Buenos Aires, you find leather shops that sell great leather coats. There are different types of hotels from 5 stars to 2 stars. It's easy to find a place to to stay at a comfortable rate that is comfortable. The largest avenue in the world is in Buenos Aires. I think it's something like 20 some odd lanes. It's an avenue called Nueve de Julio. It has a big obelisk in the middle of the road, and that most people have probably seen in pictures when they've seen pictures of Buenos Aires. But when you're there, you feel like you're in Paris, and you feel safe. And I haven't met a person that hasn't gone to Buenos Aires that hasn't enjoyed it. You know, when people come to Argentina, they get excited because they can buy a lot of land at a real good price. And I'm excited for them. I'd like to have a lot of land as well. However, I think the most important feature about the area is finding a ranch that has great water like this, or lakes. This area is full of rivers, full of creeks and streams and waterfalls and beautiful lakes. In fact, if you can find a ranch that has rivers and lakes combined, that much better. But these rivers are full of fish, salmon, trout, just incredible fisheries. But even if you don't fish, there's just something special about not only having a lot of land, but having a lot of good land with beautiful water like this.